sad and you got to work out what's making your spirit sad, because life is short, right? Life is so short, and your dreams hold incredible value for you. It holds incredible value for you. What do you want for your life? What do you need to do differently? Do something different. Many of you, you're stuck living a life based on fear. Do yourself a favor. No one's coming to rescue you. I say this to people all the time. When people come and see me, like, Key, you know, what you said, no one comes to save you. It's the truth. You have to save yourself. Your life, your relationships are a mirror, a window into you. The people in your life are a reflection of where you're at in your life. So if, you know, got a message today, someone, I'm depressed. Okay, you're depressed. If you're depressed, we need to look at the relationships in your life. Who are the people around you? Who are the people close to you? And then when we look into your life, that will give us a wonderful opportunity to see what specifically is going on. The product is coming out the hair. The hair's getting a bit fluffy now, but maybe you don't notice it. I do, right? You got to start to think about, what do you need to do differently? And a big block for many people is you won't try doing something different. You know what you're currently doing is not working for you. You know it's not working for you, yet you don't like your options for moving forward, or you're living in fear, gripped by fear, but there's a yearning inside of you for something different. And because of fear, and then all the ways that we remain stuck, all the stories we tell ourselves about, I can't do this, lack of self-belief, a lack of trust in ourselves. And another one that catches people out is you want all your ducks lined up in a row. So if I do X, I want to know that I'll end up at point Z by 6 months. It doesn't always work like that. You see, life is process orientated. I was with a coach the other day and he was like, well, where are your clients after 6 months? I'm like, well, I don't really, say in 6 months you'll be here. What I do say, though, is we're going to go through a process. We're going to go through a process of me trying to ascertain how you've lost your way, how you've lost yourself, how sometimes our people-pleasingness has resulted in us becoming unintentionally inauthentic. And so when a human being is sad, there's really good reasons for it. And it's about becoming curious about what is going on in your precious life. If that makes sense to you, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a share, tag a brethren, tag a foe. It's your girl, Keeley Taverner, here. We're just going live, having conversations about getting out of your comfort zone. But ultimately, what do you need to do differently? Like, there's patterns in our life. And if there's anything you want to learn, is you got to learn the patterns in your life that keep you round, going round in vicious cycles. So you want change, no problem. However, when it comes to taking the action, there's stagnation, rumination, procrastination. I'll need another word with shun in the end, right? And so you may want it and you've wanted it for years, but for whatever reason, you're still stuck in your life. If that makes sense to you, if you feel stuck, if you feel that you are not fulfilling your potential, and week in, week out, it's just humdrum, you feel disempowered, you feel like if only they would do X, then my life would be different, then this is a clear sign to you that what you're doing is, that's developing victim consciousness. Victim consciousness is where we are looking outside of ourselves and blaming others for our predicament. Now, I ain't lying. Difficult things would have happened to us. Yeah, everybody's story is unique. And I'm sorry to tell you this, they may have caused the trauma, but the healing, the responsibility for the healing is ours. I know. It's annoying, isn't it? It's annoying. But if you don't get over that, then you're going to be, incredibly sad for your precious life and complaining about what happened to you in 1985, and in 2025 you've not moved on. I see you, Tony Taverner. Salute to the name. Yeah. So what questions do you have about your stuckness, your sameness, your vicious cycles? Let your girl Key know. Happy to answer. Ultimately, just rolling off the top of the dome, one of the biggest challenges you will have will be with your relationship with fear. Fear. And fear can be dressed up in many ways. One of the things you need to understand is when you see the challenges, you have to learn that fear is a basic part of life. Give your mother a share tone. Yeah. It's a basic part of life. And the more that you can, when you experience great fear, yeah, you grow where you don't want to go. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like. You grow where you don't want to go. So most of us, it's the thing that we avoid that we don't want to lean into. We don't want to lean into that. You know what I'm talking about, Ivy Rose? We don't want to lean into that. Hey, Patel, I see you, right? So then what we're engaged in is avoidance behaviors. And I don't know about you, but in my life, what I avoid just keeps showing up again and again and again. And remember, every season in your life will present you with another challenge. Sadly, you want life on your terms. You want life to be steady like this. Sorry, not sorry, it doesn't go like that. Yeah? Life is filled with ups and downs. And the better and the quicker and the faster that you understand that life comes like this, the better off you'll be. My hope for you is that you will find joy in the up seasons when things are going well for you, like be in that now, embrace that. And that when the lows come, it may sound odd, be grateful for them too, because I don't know about you and you and you, but I know that we can get our greatest lessons from life's adversities. There can be wisdom in trial and tribulation. The key is to what is life teaching me here? What is life teaching me here? What can I learn from this? How can this teach me to live more fully? But for so many of us, not everyone, but we become stuck in routines and habits that end up shrinking our life. And often we avoid confronting the bigger issues. And that's okay, I get it, right? I get it. But there may come a point when you need to seriously consider, what do you want for your life? Your habits, the habits that you have, are always a great indicator. And for many people who I support, that's why we start small. We start small. I'm a massive fan. That's why I've created the Small Victories journal. Because here you can write down small victories. You got to start small. Sometimes your vision will seem really mammoth and overwhelming. You don't know where to begin. You ever have that? Like you don't know where to begin, where to start? I get it. Life ain't easy. But you have to choose your hard. Choose your hard. Because life gon' life you anyway. So since you're here, for majority of us, we're living in the West. And there are options available to you. There are options available to you. Trust me on that. So let me know what questions you have about your stuckness, stagnation, and your desire for growth and transformation. What is holding you back? What holds you back? What is it that you need to focus on? And there's the circle of life, 8 areas. Is it personal, family, business? Like, where do you feel stifled and stuck in your life, I need to have that circle on my wall so I can just refer to it. Yeah, there's a solid, good reason for your stuckness. Often, I believe, any time is to look at your circle. If you are the brightest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. A. Cotney says, thank you for your question, sister, your statement. That's incredibly accurate. Sometimes we feel stuck and we're not. And this is why I'm an advocate of developing healthy habits, right? Sometimes you have to learn to hack yourself. People always say to me, Key, your car's a mess. I say, you call it a mess. I'm hacking myself. All the things on the front chair are tasks that I have to do. So to the untrained eye, that looks like a mess. No, it ain't. That's got to go to the dry cleaners. That's got to go to me other office. I've got to get a refund on that. Yeah? And I know my brain. If I don't see it, if it's not, listen, I could put that on a to-do list every day and it ain't happening. But if I put it on my car seat, I'll see it and I will hack myself. Make sense? You have to learn to hack yourself. It's essential for your greatness. You've got to learn how your brain functions. I'm a visual learner. If you know you're a visual learner, then you play to your strengths. You've got to learn to play to your strengths. A. Cotney, I also believe if we keep getting shown the same situation, we are not learning from it. Absolutely. But you know what? Sometimes I see it like levels. I don't know anybody, if anyone's young enough for Pac-Man. Yes. Big up Sharp Pink. I have a Pac-Man downstairs in my house, the arcade game. And I see life like there's just levels. And sometimes in my naivety, big up Hope, I see you. If you've got any questions here, feel free to ask your girl Key, yeah? What I see is, like every time I rate go up a level, there's a new thing. Wouldn't life be boring if it was just the same though? You see, like if life was just the same week in, week out, it would be pretty dull, yeah? There's something wonderful, I think, about wonderful and challenging about how life ebbs, flows, changes. One season you're wearing a certain type of clothes, you look back on it years later and you're like, what was going through my head? I see that with my daughter when she used to do her eyebrows. Remember, oh God, the eyebrow phase. She's like, Mom, how could you let me go out the house with them eyebrows? I was like, child, I tried to tell you, you weren't having it. You thought that looked good. Now she's like, Mom, I hate them. All I can see is the eyebrows. But that's life, right? Sometimes at certain ages and phases, something suited us and then it moves on. But many of us, what happens is, this is the psychologist bit, we're often operating from our unconscious, and some of those are survival skills we developed as a little kid. They're not serving us in our adulthoodness, but because it's in the unconscious, subconscious, well, whichever one, we don't realize we are running from an old script which limits our greatness. It means we keep repeating patterns and we're baffled. You see, the people I work with, and I've seen this throughout the years delivering Navigating Narcissism now, is if I speak to someone and they're still banging on about what the narcissist has done and so on and so forth, I get it. But the people who are much more like the people who are at a different phase, right? There's levels, are the people who realize, actually, I need to look at myself. I need to look at what I'm doing because, I know this person's difficult, but there's things I'm doing, Key, and I need some assistance with that. I said, no worries, sister, fluff up them cushions. Let's have a chat. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying. So it's when we get to a space of self-inquiry. And remember, not everybody gets to the place of self-inquiry because victim consciousness is real. And if you know about victim consciousness, give me a heart, give me a like. These are the people who are always victims. Always victims, always someone to blame. Sometimes they dress it up with theories as well. Sounds really intellectual, but the process is still the same. You know, the people that you go in the house bouncing and you come out feeling like you need a little nap. The people that zap every calorie of energy out of you. These are the people I would encourage you to avoid. Well, I do, because my energy is needed for cultivation, creation, and manifestation. You know what I'm saying? We've got dreams out here. We've got dreams we want to fulfill. My mum's 70 soon. I want to be able to give her the love that she has plowed into me. Yeah, we've got dreams that we want to achieve. Can't be taking mummy to the harvester. You know what I'm saying, Sharp Pink? We got there. Revolution from monotony. Absolutely. I see you, lady. I see you. Out. Yeah. Moving the crowd. I love that. I see that. You get past one level and there's a new challenge. Exactly, A. Courtney. And I think the people who often get stuck in life are because I've had it. Trust me, I've had it, right? You reach a new level and you thought you'd coast. I remember when I got my degree and I got my job in probation, I thought, I've made it now, innit? I was so annoyed. I had to go back and do another master's to specialize more because I could see what was going to happen. You could see it from the seniors before me complaining and moaning about a job. And I thought, boy, if I don't get my self together, get yourself together, I'm going to become that. And I don't want to be that. I've got a purpose and a mission in my life. And I didn't come here to be a complaining, moaning employee. No, sir. I had a bigger vision. Some of our visions will frighten us. Yeah. I left school with no GCSEs. I had a vision to be a social worker. I couldn't work out. My auntie was a social worker. I was like, how am I ever going to do that? I don't even have a C in English. Thank God for ChatGPT. I love that. I see you. Yep, absolutely. A. Courtney. And as long as you can respect that about life, yeah, don't think you're ever just going to arrive and you're going to be there and that's that. No, sir. New level, new devil. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Imagine if life was just the same. Your sadness, your depression, the anxiety is calling for you to do something. Sometimes we're trying to manage it. And, well, management, coping strategies do have a shelf life. I do remind you, they have a shelf life. So when they stop working, then what? Many of us, some of us, not all of us, but sometimes we're in jobs we don't like. We're having to put up with nonsense. And let's not start to get into your circles. Family circles, partnerships, some of that stuff is not working for you. And rightfully so, as we get up in age, it can be scary to leave when there's responsibilities, children's, finance, like it ain't just easy to pop your socks on and get up and go. You understand? However, there are still things that you can do in the background. Sometimes you got to kiss the ass before you kick it. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like. Keeley, any advice for people who don't have their sole purpose professionally? I'm just grateful to have work. Amen, sister. Courtney, the first thing I would say is, what do you love? If I were to take you into a bookshop, not many of them left, what area would you be drawn to? Say if we went to Waterstones, up Central London, Tottenham Court Road, what area would stimulate you? Would it be history, self-help? I believe we all get signs, and if you can follow the signs of something that brings you alive and work. Listen, I never got to where I am today by walking out of my job. I did 8 years, yeah? But probably for 6 of those years, I was grafting with the side hustle. And that side hustle meant I was doing a master's degree, seeing clients and building up my private practice. You know what I'm saying? I see you, Sharp Pink. Tanya Jackson, wish I could give back to mum. Well, you can, you know, just because mum might not be in the flesh, there might be other ways that you can, you know, honor mummy if you believe that everything is energy. You understand? Like, you know, by looking after yourself, you know, it depends on, you know, I don't know you, so it depends on your relationship with mum. I'm assuming she was a good mum. And by taking care of yourself, you know, putting yourself first, spoiling yourself sometimes, I think there is great value in that, you know. talking to mum, all of these things, you know, how do you connect? Blessings. Rest in peace, Jen. I see you. What are you drawn to? Feel free to answer there. I appreciate your question. What are you drawn to? What do you love? If you, even when you start like a TikTok account, it asks you, what are your interests? What are your interests? Yeah. Or sometimes what's like a dream that you had, an abandoned dream, or as a little kid. Sometimes if it comes to like purpose, sometimes there's little cues as kids, things that we loved, things that we enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. She's still here and she's going to the gym now. So proud. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, Tanya, maybe there's something you can do to bring her closer. You know, maybe you take her out or something like that. Or maybe not. I don't know your situation. But remember, sometimes we can also, this is for people who might have tricky relationships with their parents. I know it was Father's Day yesterday, and that can be a tricky time for many. And so sometimes acceptance is what frees us. I mean, I could go long-winded on this, but it's acceptance that they were who they were, maybe not who we wanted them to be, rather than carrying the heavy load. You know, freeing yourself can be also another way. You know, I'm also mindful of, you know, expectations. I did a live recently talking about having nothing to prove. You know, for many of us, we've lived a life trying to prove ourselves. Flipping out, trying to prove yourself is really exhausting because people already have opinions of you. And I don't know about you, but I ain't trying to change no one's opinion. They're entitled to it. Let them have it. You know, trying to change opinions is very exhausting because they done make up their mind already. They've made up their mind about you already. So free yourself from the concern of trying to change anybody's opinions of you. Yeah, you free yourself. Listen, these words roll off my tongue very easily. But let me tell you, I've witnessed people free themselves from other people's low expectation. And it's an absolute revolution in their lives. Yeah, because that behavior has been governing their life for years. All of adulthood. And if you know it's adulthood, then we're linking that right back to childhood. How can you free yourself? What do you want for your life? Some of us, we're waiting for someone to die before we can be our authentic self. Yeah? Not great for your greatness. Sorry, not sorry. No. What responsibility do you need to take for you? None of us know when our number's going to be called. If money was no object, I'd spend so many hours walking and in nature and in Waterstones upstairs. Beautiful. Have you heard about nature therapy? Don't start with me, hey Courtney. I got answers all day, you know. Remember, I'm an inspirational figure, I've decided. Yeah. There's careers in that, you know. There's careers in that. Believe that. I had a client, he became this, forgive me, this sounds silly, but a horticultural therapist. He chose to pursue that. Nature therapy. Absolutely. It's a real thing. It's a big thing. Especially as things move along, like traditional therapy, you know, sitting in the room, things are really changing, my sister. I really do. Feel free to inbox me if you want me to send you a link to a couple of courses I've sent some of my supervisees to. Nature therapy is a real thing because nature is a beautiful reflection of life. The parallels are so profound. Growth, change, death, transformation, nurturing, watching a seed grow. The essence of life. That's why, I don't know if you've heard about it, but in prisons, they have nature programs for offenders, and it's one of the interventions that actually is evidenced to bring down offending rates. Have no idea why that stuff has gone in my head, but it has gone in my head, and I remember that it actually brings down reoffending rates. This is serious, important life skills. But my sister, don't think you can't create a career out of that. This is the whispers of your heart, my sister. And from a spiritual perspective, and I'm unapologetic about that, your duty, I believe, while you're here on God's great earth is to follow the signs, follow the cues, follow the signs, follow the cues, follow the signs, follow the cues, and stay in the job. Stay in the job. You know what I've worked out? When you stay in the job, it actually makes the job much more bearable. Give me a heart, give me a like, give me a share. Come on, we're looking for 1 million views today. Yeah? We're looking for 1 million. We're going for the mill. We're aiming big. Yeah? Done with playing small. Yeah? So that's a sign. This communication is a sign. You know, what action are you going to take? It's always about action. Carl Rogers, love Carl Rogers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Studied Rogers for many years. People are often, hey, hope, hey, 3 roses, 4 roses, rose, hope. Oh my gosh, Hope, you need to ask me a question. Let me know what's going on for you there, right? You gotta find your path, and trust me, your head is gonna try to work out, where will I be? Where will I be? One thing I'm ever so grateful for, because I always failed at school, I wasn't good at anything. Although I was bright, I was never scared of failure. When I started to pursue my career, I was never scared of failure, because I had a backbone for it anyway, because I'd failed so many things before. So the beauty of having failed so many times is I kind of just learned to try. You know what I really actually found out is that I didn't have many of the foundations in place anyway. I didn't have good grammar, good English, and obviously that has an impact. If you know what I'm talking, if you don't know a comma from a semicolon or a full stop when the paragraph, listen, if you know what I'm talking about, let me know out here. We ain't got no shame in I see the hearts. Trust me, I'm so grateful for ChatGPT. I was, you know, like when the foundations of being able to articulate oneself has not been laid down, this has a significant impact on how you actually, you know, when you take tests, if you can't write the written word nicely, they don't know what you're talking about. That's why you get the Z. You understand? But you see, I've got mine here. I understand it. Just because I can't write it in the way that the gatekeepers want me to, don't mean I don't get it. Until I discovered experiential learning, different ways to learn. I'm like, yo, this, I ain't what they thought. Listen, they underestimated me. They didn't know how to teach my brain how to learn. So then you go around with this sense of you're not this enough, or you're not smart, or people like me don't do that. Anybody doing that? Anyone think that people like me can't do? Oh, I'm not this. And I hear it all the time. We just carry this stuff. Oh, thank you. Yes, Courtney, inbox me, man. Stay close. So you go around with this low expectation of yourself, and it's absolutely not the truth. I remember the first time when I started to volunteer when I was doing my degree, and I was given a compliment. He goes, oh, you're very engaging in the group. I was so embarrassed. Anybody here, give me a heart, give me a like, tag a friend, tag a foe. We're going to get 1 million today. Have issues taking compliments? Anybody have issues taking compliments? Yeah? It's like Superman and Kryptonite. Sharp Pink, you're all over the shop, sister. Don't know which device. Yeah? If you've got issues taking compliments, this is giving us insights into how you regard yourself. You know? It gives us insights into how we regard yourself. I know I used to bat them away like Ian Botham. If you don't know about cricket, you need to know about cricket. Yeah? Ian Botham. I think that was his name. I might have it wrong. Yeah? Absolutely. You know what? The thing is, when you start to accept compliments, what's going to happen is it's going to feel really uncomfortable. Sometimes I think we're so used to not being complimented, or maybe even put down, that a compliment is just really uncomfortable. It's almost like I'm used to the bad stuff, you know, and often can bat it away. Sharp Pink, one of the things I say to many a client is, it will make you shudder. And sometimes I deliberately compliment my clients, and then kind of like, just to see, because they deserve it, man. They're grafting at it. And then notice what occurs in you. Notice how you want to bat it away, or you play it down. Caught myself doing it the other day, actually. You know, these things don't go. You just become conscious of them. Before I'd reply with Merry Christmas, I don't know how to respond. Wow. Before I'd respond with Merry Christmas. What a powerful way to block. You see that? It's like a random left comp. So if someone compliments you and you say Merry Christmas, then usually what will happen is the person giving you the compliment will get confused by your Merry Christmas statement and then go be like, why are you saying Merry Christmas? But not realize what you're doing is you're protecting yourself because it's so uncomfortable. And for some of us, we never grew up with compliments. You know what I'm saying? Never told we was good at none. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that transmutes with us into our adult life. And like I said before, this means this lack of regard for ourselves, this unconsciously, this self-esteem issue keeps us being mediocre. Sorry, not sorry, who wants to be mediocre? I don't know about you, but I don't. I just want to embrace my greatness and my genius and honor the creator. Bring forth creation, manifestation, no procrastination. Yeah. And this is why sometimes, like I say to my clients, like, learn to say thank you when someone compliments you so that you don't discombobulate. I know it's difficult. Your nervous system's going to be, activated. You might get little sweat beads, but learning to say thank you can take you out of, just deflecting. Thank you. I received the compliment. I saw Faye Edwards receive a compliment like that, and I thought, I'm stealing that. Thank you, Faye. Like, thank you. I received that. Classy. Make the familiar unfamiliar familiar. So many people find it hard to love themselves. Well, it's a journey, self-love is a journey. But like I said, if you're someone who keeps finding yourself in patterns, before we go blaming others, it's a safe place to live. Look what they did to me. All the things I've done for them. You don't see how you might co-create that. Yeah. And how we co-create that is often in the unconscious. My hair product is running out, man. I can feel my curls going boof. Procrastination can often lead to subordination, self-sabotage. Absolutely. You've got and that's where we become our own worst enemy. And I believe that we sometimes, and this is the value of having accountability. Someone who pulls you up. As I've said many a time on here, I've paid many a coach for many years to help me because, trust me, if I'm left to my own devices, a lot of it wouldn't manifest. Put me on a live, I can roll, I can talk to people all day long. But a business doesn't survive on just me being able to be the therapist, right? You've got to have a back office. You've got to have the right people to help you grow. Emails, automation, it's not my lane. It's not my lane. Give me someone in crisis. Let's see what happens. Like that's my lane. So you've got to know your strengths, and then you've got to strategize for your weaknesses. That's life. Yeah. Be careful of any human who tells you they're perfect. That's a little God complex, right? There's nothing perfect. Only the omnipotent one. So let me know about your stuckness. What do you need to try? A couple of weeks ago, I kind of didn't capture it, but I had just this sense of people not trying, not taking a chance on themselves. And as a therapist, you pay good attention to, we do the work in the room, we work in the room, but what occurs outside of the room is always something of interest. Ways that clients might get out of their comfort zone, say yes to themselves, do something different. Stagnation is not great for any living organism. That's why we don't like stagnant water. You ever smell stagnant water? Your body refutes it straight away, because stagnation is not good for humans. That's why I love to see what Sharp Pink is doing for herself right now, moving the crowds, right? So, but for so many, we can end up living in fear, and we play small. And often one of the reasons why we opt for sameness and stuckness is because it's familiar. And I believe comfort zone should be renamed to stagnation zone. You can't grow there. You cannot grow there. But actually, at some level, it's serving you. At some level, it serves you because if you stay in your comfort zones / stagnation zone, it's predictable. You know what's coming, and you have the illusion of safety. It may give you the sense of control. Because when you have this vision for your life, this is why we're doing the Vision and Heal retreat. We have a retreat in October. Where was I going with this? We're doing the Vision and Heal retreat. Anybody remember where I was going? Because sometimes I just go on. A vision is one thing. You can have a vision, you could do your vision boards annually. But you see what, yeah? There's a whole load of blocks, psychological blocks. That happens to people. My retreat is going to be in Leatherhead. And like I said, one day we're going to do the vision board. We're going to do a vision board with you. For years I visioned and I never manifested my vision. One of the reasons I wasn't able to manifest my vision was because of money trauma. Anybody ever heard of money trauma? I am digressing slightly here, but trust me, it all relates to psychology. So who not? Better else talk about it. Yeah. If you understand about money trauma, it's one of the reasons why you may repel money. You have to understand, learn about your relationship with money. What I worked out is we would vision. This is where I was. I knew I'd remember. We did the vision board. I did my vision board, and then it wouldn't manifest. And I'd be like, well, what's the point of visioning? The reasons most vision boards won't come to life is because you don't work on the inside. We got to work on the self-beliefs, the beliefs that you have that keep you not pushing out of your comfort zone. Many of us might be able to earn more money, but you don't want to leave the job that you're moaning about. So you stay in that lane because fear gets you. This is where people like myself, coaching, psychotherapy, we come in with the nudge, challenging statements, looking at why you stay where you are. Yeah, if you want the details of the retreat, go to my profile, sis. I think the link is up there if my team are doing the great things. Pin this comment. Oh, I'd have to do lots of, Hope inbox me now and reply to Hope. Inbox me, Hope, and I will send you the details. So what we've got for the retreat is we have a vision board expert, Helena Holrick, massive advocate. So what you're going to do is you're going to vision, but then what we focus on are the beliefs that you hold. And believe me, you're a bit like, when I said to you, you can't take a compliment. One of the reasons we can't take a compliment is because of self-esteem. And somewhere someone's told you unkind things, and then that's because of your own wiring. It's become a part of your own hard drive. And then you begin to hold those beliefs about yourself, and those beliefs need examining. I think that's a part of really what I do. Like, I'm able to get inside the head as such, get inside your mind, and then look at the beliefs that you hold, and then help see how that keeps you stuck. Because remember, we're in the information age, Everybody Googling, everybody ChatGPTing. So why aren't we living our best life then? Why aren't we living our best life if we know so much, do so much, research so much, Google so much, ChatGPT so much, download so much? Why aren't we living our best life? It's not about just having this. It's not about that. You got to take it up a notch. Yeah? Especially if you want to live a good life, especially if you are making breakthroughs, and let's be frank, if you were the underdog where low expectation was placed upon you. That can be fuel, but we got to be careful because that can become toxic as well. We got to endeavor to strike the right balance, because we're wired for connections and we spend time not in communities with other women. Hey, Courtney, that's exactly why I created Navigating Narcissism now. We are a community of empaths who are learning, understanding, and overcoming. And this is why I say to everybody, start with the Small Victories Journal. This is the journal written by your girl, Keeley Taverner, executed by Claire Archbold. I have the vision, and then she tells me whether I can create them or not. right? We celebrate small victories. For example, you researching a nature therapy program, that's a small victory. If you were to Google that, send that back to us, that's a small victory. But what might also be helpful to you is if we get you into setting healthy habits for yourself. Many of us, we end up prioritizing other people and we end up putting ourselves last. If you're first, you're last. Yeah? I see this time and time again. I've got a quiz going out at the moment and the research is always the same. Self-care, is self-care essential, nice to do, or non-existent? Most people, self-care is last. You know, a lot of people have an issue with self-care. They think self-care is selfish. And I'm sorry, ladies, you know, it's more than getting the nails done. You know what I'm saying? And the eyebrows plucked and a little hair. Like, grooming is a part of it. That's very basic now. Come on. Some of us need a WhatsApp block party. Some of us need to leave groups that are no longer serving us. I remember there was a group I was in and it was just not serving me in it. And I just thought, you know, when you go in your camera roll and you see all these, and you're like, how did these things get in my camera roll? And I'm like, you know what? It's just time to go. Yeah, sometimes it's just time to go. You know, your camera roll feels violated by content that does not speak to your higher self. You understand? We're trying to live purposeful life here. We're not looking at folk and judging them and looking at their... I ain't got time for them little low-level gossip. Sorry, we're going eyebrow. Yeah, if you're going highbrow, you know that certain things just don't stimulate your intellect no more. Sorry. I've got a purposeful life I want to live, and that don't stimulate my brain. No. Yeah? What would it mean? Who if you were to take those steps, Courtney, who might you be concerned about their opinions about you? Yeah? And let me tell you, you see, the more you do these things, you get a confidence and a cockiness to you that no one can buy. When you start to step into your purpose, when you step into your purpose, you get a swagger in your step because no one can take that from you. That's between you and your maker. Yeah? You obeyed the signs. You said yes. You stepped out of your comfort zone, stagnation zone. You locked off who weren't good for you. Yeah, man. Chapter and verse, sister. Yeah. You just had to get unapologetic now. You're in your phase because you have the audacity to want more for your life. If you want more for your life, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a share. Yeah. Everybody wants more for their life, but they're not prepared to sacrifice. And as long as you're not prepared to sacrifice for your life, do not complain when it's humdrum and same old, same old. Some of us are not prepared to delay gratification. We want it now. We want it yesterday. You're impatient. You want it on your terms. And life don't work on your terms. But you will get signs and clues. Sometimes God might even give you a vision for your life. And then your mind is saying, oh, no, not me. I couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. Seems too big. I know I've got visions and sounds, and I'm like, Lord, I don't think so, you know. That's a big one, sir. But I'll start small. I'm going to obey the signs and wonders. What are the whispers of your heart? What do you truly want for your precious life? Every time I attend somebody's funeral, I always think to myself, bless them and their spirit. How can this passing help you, inspire you to live more fully? What are you holding yourself back from? You know, some of us won't even buy a little colored outfit. We're worried about audience. We won't even change our hair. We won't even cut the bonnet because we're worried about what people say. You won't even try. You won't even experiment. And so your life is humdrum, same old, same old, same old, same old. And that's cool. For some people, that works. But let me tell you what, I think majority of us humans, we can fear change. Because what's the problem with change? Let me tell you what the problem is with change. Let me tell you why people stay where they are. Because they don't like uncertainty. If you know what I'm talking about, bang uncertainty in the comments. They don't like uncertainty. Next week, I will be doing another stand-up course with Mr. Slim. Trust me, that's when I know I'm out of my comfort zone. Sweat down my back. But you know what? I got to live. And if I think that I have something in me and I might be able to touch lives in a very different way using comedy, then it's my duty to pursue the skill, and give it the opportunity to flourish, if you know what I'm talking about. It is your duty to develop your skills. You have to give yourself a chance. Some of you know more about the latest Netflix series than you do yourself. I went to somebody's barbecue recently. I was looking forward to community having conversation. They was talking about the latest series on Netflix. I could only observe and judge. I was judging. I'm not lying. I ain't perfect. Yeah, told you, don't put humans on pedestals. Because I was like, these ladies know a lot about the latest Netflix series. I don't even have Netflix since they put that little ban on so you can't put it in someone else's house. Like, I was just sitting there thinking, like, these people know a lot about what's going on in the lives of people on the Netflix series. I thought, wow. I thought, if you can watch this many hours of a series, like episodes, innit? Episodes, you might watch 45 minutes. Say if there's 10, that's 9 hours, innit? Right? Then you've got season 1, season 2, right? Suppose you put that into manifestation of a dream. You want to come tell me about Netflix series? And then you wonder why your son. Netflix binging usually goes with the binge eating as well. I don't know about anybody else. Maybe it was me. But you have to be very careful of what you invest your time in. If you know about the latest Netflix series, that's a lot of time you're giving them. I did watch The Handmaid's Tale, but it was during COVID. I did watch that one. I ain't even gonna lie. I did watch that one. That was in COVID. I was home. I was stranded. I couldn't go nowhere. So that one got me. That one and Breaking Bad. Black Mirror was good. Didn't know all was coming in through. So, wow. There you go. I've been told to watch Black Mirror. I've never watched it. Sasa, I see you. Yes, people like familiarity because it's safe. And what about you, Hope? What if you looked in your life? What needs expansion? Where might you be a bit stuck? What might you be avoiding? And that's understandable. Yeah, that's understandable. I've been avoiding the gym lately. I don't know why. But I had to have a word with myself on Sunday. Because every day I got some story about, well, I've just put the washing on. I'm going to have to wait for the 60 minutes till it dries. If I go now, then it'll be sitting in the wash. The stories were getting real elaborate. I said, Miss Taverner, you know you have a delay button on the machine, right? Sometimes the enemy is within. It's in the thinking and it's in the things we say to ourselves. If I'm not lying, give me a heart, give me a like. Because we have to overstand ourselves. And this isn't just about relationships, whether you run a business, whether you're an employee. Understanding yourself is so fundamental. And if you want to start small victories, I'm a massive advocate of, you have to get your habits in check. Habits. But what we also want to do is we want to start to get an awareness of your inner voice. Lacking assertiveness. Assertiveness. When assertive, people say, oh, Key, I need to be more assertive. I always think of it in threes, and I learnt this when I used to run programs in the prison, and it always stayed with me. Assertiveness. So there's passive, assertive in the middle, and aggressive. Aggressive people only care about their rights. They don't care about anybody else. Passive people think about everybody else, right? So passive people think about everybody else's rights. They don't think about theirs. That's why they often are people pleasers. Aggressive people only think about themselves. And to get in the middle is to be assertiveness, is to be assertive. That's to be assertive. So it's also knowing what paradigm you're on. I'm assuming it might be more passive. So what are the steps? It depends on the situations where it blocks you. I'd have to get my head around it. Yeah. But what are the situations where you feel, I'm assuming, you become more passive, more meek, more, okay, it's all about you, you know? We're the sort of people you go out for dinner, people say, what would you like? Like, oh, anything you like. Yeah. They end up giving you kidney and liver. You're like, do you even like kidney and liver? No. No, next time you say, I want Lebanese. I was out the other day in Brom with my friends. And they said, what do you want for dinner? You want, let's go out for dinner, Kia. I said, what do you want? I said, Lebanese. I love a Lebanese. I love a tabbouleh. So we had to go and find one. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just opting for, oh, that's fine. No. Sometimes, there you go, Hope. There's a little response there. It may be in just starting to ask for what you want. What do you want? Like actually pausing for a moment to think, what do I actually want? You know? Because when assertiveness is a challenge, usually, generally, it's because we're passive, because generally aggressive people, they're very good at getting their own way. Put it that way. Hope that helps. I guess this is the fear of rejection, which takes me to people pleaser. Absolutely. And there's much value. Like I said before, usually people pleasingness is really steeped in our childhood. So it was a survival tactic, but that's never been examined in our adulthood. So we're still running off the script, the beliefs of a 7-year-old. That makes sense? And 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds can't be abandoned by their caregivers because we have to attach to remain alive. So it's a survival skill you've developed, and it's a good one, but in 2025, it's not serving you. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a wink. Yeah, that's why many of us are stuck, and we know we need to change. We don't change because we fear. Let me tell you something. You see, you fear rejection. Let me tell you something. You see, when you stand up in your greatness, my dear friend, there will be relationship casualties. Absolutely, there will. Absolutely, there will. Absolutely, because you know why? They are invested in you being the people pleaser. That people pleaser is working for them. But you have to realize, my sister, it's not working for you. It's taking you from your greatness and your capacity to live a fulfilling life. You have to get to the point where, you know what? This is when people are ready to change. When the sameness is so uncomfortable, you see, I talk to people all the time. Key, I want to work with you. We have a word. Sometimes they're not ready. Sometimes I have to say to a soul, you know what? I think you need some more pain. Sorry. I think you need more violation, more liberty taking before you are off enough to say, I'm ready. We decide. Like I said, life ain't easy. You have to choose your heart. You understand? And many of these behaviors serve us. Make sense, my sister? I hope so. Yeah? You know what? But though, a Courtney, it's not that it's time for a new circle. Remember what happens when we transition to a new phase of life, remember, new level, is you have to clear out. And so what happens is, and I think this is what most people avoid, and it's one of my biggest challenges, I think I'm in this season at the moment, is loneliness and abandonment can be very difficult on the human soul. Abandonment can be and rejection. And so because we fear that abandonment and rejection, we're actually holding on for them. You have to get to the point where that's no longer, it's just too painful. You know what I'm saying? Where you lose that grip. Make sense? I feel like it's hard for me to forgive my behavior. Well, that's because you got a harsh inner critic. I'm all right on that one. You got 46% missed have. Yeah? You got a harsh inner critic. You're brutal with yourself. You wouldn't talk to the man outside Tesco's selling big issue the way you talk to yourself. Sometimes, I caught myself doing this the other day, you have to articulate what it is that you say to yourself. Actually speak it out. Not walking down the street, but you know, if you're in a car or something, if you actually heard what you say, and I see this all the time as a therapist, when an individual actually starts to articulate to me what they're saying to them, I get them to articulate what they think about themselves. And actually, when you pay attention, what? I said, girl, you, that's brutal. Usually a harsh inner critic comes from a harsh parent, sorry. I'm a guy with insecure traits and borderline toxic line. Oh, bless you. It's remembering some people direct us growing because they don't want to face the problems in them. But remember, Courtney, it doesn't mean they face their problems in them. It usually means they find someone else to leech upon. Yeah. But for many of us, we can also, let's be having it. We've got a savior complex, dear empaths, going on. Yeah, man. We want to save everybody. We think we're Allah, Jaja, Buddha. We want to save everybody. Am I lying? If you are an empath and you've done your work and you've gone beyond just reading about it, a lot of us, we want to fix people. Yes, you want to fix people. Yeah, you fall in love with potential, and actually, your own psychology, your personality, you are wedded to that idea of yourself, because you see what happens for many deep people pleasers, empaths, is when we realize people don't need us, it can be very difficult. Dr. Michelle, yes, this is so true. We're speaking about this very topic today. Thank you, my sister. Amen. Right? Your identity is wedded to helping people. So what often happens is you keep finding so-called broken people to fix. And listen, you need to be careful, because some of them relationships, you staying down in them for your victory for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, 30. I ain't lying. And then you don't want to let it go. Often there's other agendas unconscious to you that are also at interplay. For example, we don't want our families to think that we messed up again or that we didn't get it right. So we're gripping in there for very different alternative reasons. Your girl Key is pretty great at helping to extract those. One must speak well of themselves. You know? Always more work to be done when we reach the next level. You sound bored by it, sister. The alternative is that God could have created a world where our lives were the same every single day. You know how sweet victories are when you've had to push through. You see an athlete who gets a gold medal, right? You see them drop to the floor like, how much times could they have given up and said no and not pushed through? You must understand that God gave us a world that's always changing. And I guess in this season in my life, I'm embracing that. It's the challenge. It's the challenge of life. And it's between me and a creator. Make sense? I hope so. Because the alternative is a humdrum life, where it's the same day in, day out. If you've seen the film Groundhog Day, yeah? The challenge is on you. If you want to do something different. You know, even today I woke up, right? I got to the gym at 7 and it was 9 o'clock by the time I got home. 9 o'clock, me using my Nespresso for make coffee. I just had to remind myself to be grateful for the sacrifices I made yesteryear, where I had a job. Monday morning, you better be in that office at 9 or there's problem. Today in 2025, I'm there with the Nespresso, making a coffee in my yard. Yeah? I'm grateful for that woman, that young woman who had her self-esteem issues, that she made a decision and she chose to pursue a different route. I'm grateful today. I reap the rewards of the sacrifices I made yesteryear. Give thanks and praise. You see, the challenge is for many of us, you're going to have to delay gratification. If you truly want to live a purposeful life, it ain't going to happen like this. And you don't like that because you wanted it yesterday. No, it don't work like that. Slow and steady. Small victories. Small victories. Every day you plow in the direction of your dreams, or you're going to keep doom scrolling or keep watching the latest series on Netflix. It's your choice. Life ain't easy. Choose your heart. Stuckness is hard. Trust me. Getting out your comfort zone is hard. Trust me. But it comes with certain kind of glories. And this morning at 9 o'clock when I was putting my capsule in my Nespresso, thank you, Auntie Pat, is a beautiful present. You know what I'm saying? The coffee capsules are very expensive. I ain't lying. Yeah? I had a moment of saying, Keeley, God bless your child for the sacrifices you made yesteryear. 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, I'm in my yard, in my gym wear. Yeah? And my diary is one that I've created. First client was at 4 today. And here I am on a live. We give thanks. You have to sacrifice today for the tomorrow you yearn for. Where I am today was once a dream in my eye, and I never knew how I would do it. But you know what I did? I stopped worrying about the house. And every day I just sowed. And when an obstacle, and you know what I decided? I understood that obstacles were challenges. You see, I thought about it creatively. I swear I got some different wiring going on in here. They'd probably give me a label nowadays and some medication for it. But you know what? It's a part of my genius. Yes. Now make them keep telling you got this label and that label. It's a part of your genius. It's how the creator made you. Yeah? When you set a goal for yourself, understand that every setback is your challenge. You're being tested for how bad you want it. How bad do you want it? Many of us see the first obstacle and we take that as a sign from the devil, yeah, that it's not for me. So you crawl back into the same old sameness that you left and then think, oh, nothing good works for me. I ain't lying. Let me start preaching now. Not boredom, reflection. I used to think I'd done all the work. I was so wrong. Absolutely. You never arrive. It's a journey, my sister. If anyone, this is why I'm always a bit curious when I hear people banging on about self-mastery. I'm always curious about self-mastery. I do not think I can master the self. You understand? I don't know what situations I might be put in. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure people who became cannibals because they were stranded on a hilltop somewhere didn't think they'd be cannibals. A situation occurred and all of a sudden, cannibalism was the thing. None of us thought we'd be lining up for pasta and toilet roll. Yet certain circumstances changed and we were all standing on the pavement waiting outside Tesco's. Like, I don't believe there's self-ma. I believe more in, I don't know yet. I haven't formulated what that is. I guess what I've worked out is there's certain principles to life, and the more that I can understand those, the better off, the more braced I am for the ups and downs and turmoils of life. That's what I've worked out thus far. There's a guy that I was listening to on the Diary of a CEO, and I swore I need to listen to some of his work more because he's pushing self-mastery, and a lot of what he says resonates. You need to read that. I hear you. Oh, what have I done? Thank you, Keeley. You're most welcome. Well, it's 11 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock now. I've done an hour. I'm going to send this over to Reese and hopefully he'll chop it up for me. But I hope this video has been helpful to you. In July, we have the Healthy Habits Challenge. Healthy habits is so crucial. Yeah. So crucial to yourself. Yeah, we will fall off, but sometimes it's just about starting. Yeah, small wins, small victories. We start small. Rome wasn't built in a day. With delaying gratification. Yeah. I hope this live has been beneficial to you. If anything I said has inspired you, do let me know. Or send me a picture of something that you do differently. You know, I'm always you know, sometimes I open my phone and people like, Key. I'll be like, wow, look at that. Look at you, man. Look at you. A bit like my Shah. Shah's just shining out there doing her thing. It's beautiful to see. Beautiful to see. I wish she's not sure she's still here, but it's really beautiful to see you shine, my girl. Thank you so much for allowing me to journey with you. Anyway, my people, if you are interested in small victories, do get the journal. You're writing it every day, just 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes away from the Netflix, 5 minutes for you, because we know that we often come last. I am Keeley Taverner. I am a psychotherapist, and I am passionate about helping people to manifest their potential. I believe it's the purpose that I'm here for, and it gives me a very incredible, meaningful, purposeful life. And I have that same desire for you too. Do take care of yourselves, because if you don't, no one is coming to save you, and that is the truth. Thank you. Do share. Tell a friend, tell a foe. Tag them too. Peace. I send to you, YouTube. Thank you for people tuning in. I appreciate this. And here is the exit tab. My Facebook cruise.